What's up, home team? What's going on? It's your main man, the author. Right back at that ass again. There's another one. So I want to make this brief video, man. I was thinking to myself, man. I was thinking, what are the two main reasons that black women? What's the two main reasons that they're single? I saw this incident happen, and then that question popped into my head. One of the questions, the answers were obvious, but had the situation happen, man, where me and one of my coworkers, man, was finishing up for the night, right? So his ex, right? Not his ex, I should say his current I don't know what you call like a fiance. She's pregnant, right? So she's hounding him about. She has his car, hounding him about, when he, what time is he gonna get off work. She knows we close late every night, but every night it's the same shit, right? She might be insecure, I don't know. But so to make a long story short, we finished up. We were leaving, going down the corridor, right, headed to the stairs. My man was frustrated. He was like, yeah, she just hounds me every second, man. I just got off the phone with her. 2 seconds later, she calls back asking the same question, am I done yet? Am I done yet? Bitch, I'm on my way, right? So we're talking, right? Little chick comes up the stairs, overhears our conversation, talking about how much she bitches and complains. She gonna come up the stairs while we were coming down the stairs talking about, oh, you talking shit? You won't say that shit in my face, X, Y, Z, and the third. Talking all types of shit, being disrespectful, And this is a quote-unquote Haitian chick. So all these Caribbean guys coming on here talking about we shouldn't confuse African American women with women from the islands. Those chicks are just as bad, man. Sometimes maybe in some ways even worse, but they just as bad, man. Right? And he got in the car. I was like, okay, man, take care. But my point is, man, initially when black women claimed that they were being left and they're more masculine because they have to take care of the duties of taking care of the child because the man leaves them. As a kid, you just say, okay, men ain't shit. As I got educated in gender studies, I realized that black females were choosing the wrong men. And that's still one primary reason why they end up single. And that's the primary reason why most females end up single, because they choose the wrong men to begin with. But it's like in the black race, you're taught to glorify everything that's bad. And I'm not saying outer influence don't try to brainwash the race into thinking certain things, but like I said, the small things we can control, a lot of times we don't control. And sticking together, I mean, is one of those things we can control, but we don't control. So, in other words, when the white race catches a cold, the black race catches pneumonia. I've said this many times before. So what's bad for the majority of the other groups is even worse for a group that's lower on the socioeconomic totem pole, i.e., the black race, i.e., black women in particular. Okay? We talk about them the most because now they've taken the front seat of matriarchy has taken the front seat in the black community. Okay. Now that we recapped on that for the new subscribers, here's the thing. So my primary reason when I talk about black women being by themselves, having to be a single parent, I thought the primary reason is because they choose the wrong men. The drug dealers, they try to support junkies and criminals and ex-cons and things of that nature. And I do think that that's still a major issue. However, what's included in that package, the top two reasons, the second reason is they just have a bad attitude, man. And you could have guessed this, but a really shitty attitude, man. And with a really shitty attitude, that kind of changes the dynamic a bit because initially I was just thinking just the wrong men were dumping black women. Now I can see that good black men will dump you if you have the wrong attitude, man. Because this brother, he comes to work, he works every day. Okay, I'm pretty sure he helps keep the household going. They both work. He's working every day, and yeah, he goes out from time to time. But he's working every day, and she's being very shitty towards him. Now, of course, some females will use the excuse and say, well, she's pregnant, blah, blah, blah. But that's the thing. Females have every excuse in the book to support their poor behavior. Even after the kid, oh, it's poor. Well, why are you have shitty behavior now? Even after you had the kid, oh, postpartum, okay, why after that? Okay, why do you have a shitty attitude now? Well, I'm on my period. It's a million and one reasons why women can be bitches and whores and things of that nature, or have bad behavior. Especially black women, they use so many excuses. Okay, and so when you add that factor into the dynamic in terms of, not only do you choose the wrong men, but you have bad behavior. So even the brothers who would stay with you, they still choose to depart because your behavior is shitty. Very crappy behavior, man. I mean, and it's not crappy. And with black females, it's not really a crappy behavior in terms of, okay, like a feminine woman would say, okay, whatever, never mind, and they just give a little bit of lip and then they walk off and they act a little shitty, and you kiss or hug on them and you might get bang her and she'll be no, it's not a feminine shitty, it's a masculine, like you're challenging my manhood type shit. Cause I couldn't do it, man. I would have personally wanted to slap that bitch down the steps. You know what I'm saying? And some would say I'm wrong because she's pregnant and stuff like that, but I don't really have I'm not saying I would have done it. I would have I kind of felt like doing that because, like I said, if you're being wrong in your feminine energy, in terms of, i.e., okay, whatever, you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway, in a feminine type of way, I can understand that, and I can more or less go along with that. However, when you stand on the stairs and talk about, oh, you won't see that, oh, you won't say that shit in my face, uh, I bet you won't say that shit in my face. You talking shit. That's what men say to one another. Like I said, I would want to slap the shit out of a man if he challenged me like that. Oh, you won't say that shit in my face. Yes, the fuck I will. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a type of thing where it's like it's not being a tough guy. It's like, why would you challenge even being a man? Now men have an understanding. If you challenge another man like that, if a man challenges another man using that type of language, then he's already fed up to the point where he wants to engage in combat. However, a lot of black females throw attitudes and words like that around, and while at the same time having no intention of getting physical, which is why they speak like that. Because as soon as you slap them or do something like that, they're on the phone with the white man, right? They're gonna call the cops. Okay? If you get the best of her, she's gonna call the cops. It's almost guaranteed. But to be able to speak like that because you know that the white man has your back, but at the same time you talk about a lot of these black females that are even in that what do you call that that Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of those women, like the woman who was shot by the cop, Corinne Gaines or something like that. She was talking when a cop approached her on a traffic stop. She was talking about how, Corinne Gaines or something like that, light skinned chick. She ended up getting killed by the cops, but before she was shot by the cops, they showed certain incidences that probably led up to her demise, and they showed a traffic stop where she was talking about uh, talking back to the white cop, saying that you know the cops are being brutal and the cops kill people like her boyfriend every day and stuff like that. But come to find out, Corinne Gaines had called the cops on her husband herself when they fought. And she got the worst of it. She called the cops. She called the white man on her husband. So, and don't get me wrong, if he's shooting a place up or something like that, yeah, you may have to do something. But to talk about racial injustice and Black Lives Matter, but a lot of these females have called the same system on their spouse whenever a domestic issue reared its ugly head is very hypocritical. So my point being is most of these females speak the way they speak because they know that they have that system that some of them say is so racist. They know they have that system to support them if their man decides to strike them in the face. They're the first ones on the phone, man. And that's why black women are so hypocritical. That's why they are under a lens right now because they do stuff like that. They would never talk like that if they knew a man would discipline them. Like Chris Rock said in one of his comedy shows, it's nothing worse than a woman who knows that you won't hit her, and that has an element of truth in it, man. Especially black women when they know that it's so easy to get a black man arrested if he decides to strike after she miles off like that, man. After she challenges his manhood, because you can't have it both ways and say you're pro-black, but at the same time, if a black man goes upside your head, the first thing you do is call the cops. Because that's the white system. More than likely, it's going to be a white cop putting his foot up your man's ass, and you knew that before you called him. I've seen videos where the man and the black man and black woman got into a dispute. White cop came out there, jumped the black man, beat his ass, got his face all bloody, and then the one chick's standing there. You get off of him! You get off of him! You get off! It's like, bitch, you called him. You initiated the whole thing. You called him. Okay? And sometimes they'll call the guy might not even have to. He might not have even laid his hands on her. He didn't leave fast enough, or he didn't take his stuff like she asked him to. My mother used to be quick to do that. If we have a dispute when I got to be a teenager, she's quick to call the cops. Very quick to call the cops. And it's like, but at the same time, and these women wonder why they're alone. Even in their 60s, 70s, some of them who live to be 80 and 90s, in their 80s and 90s, still alone. And no one wants to be bothered with them, man. You got a house full of cats or something like that. Frogs or something like that. But yeah, that made me think, man. That is a major reason. It's one thing when I think a lot of these women are choosing the wrong men, but at the same time, when you have a shitty disposition or you have a shitty attitude, Okay? Even good men are going to walk away from you because you have a chip on your shoulder. You think that you deserve something that you don't deserve. And you just have a twisted mentality. And you're going to push away good men, providers, because they just can't put up with your attitude. They rather pay child support and be away from you and allow you to keep the kid that you are poisoning against that man. They rather allow you to do that just so they can have some peace and quiet. And that's very sad, man. And I think a lot of the women in our society have been reduced to I think this third wave generation feminism has reduced women into like just silly children who a lot of women have been reduced to mindsets of silly children, man, who uh expect to have the Cinderella life, when that's not reality at all, especially not for most of them. All right, even Cinderella had thing, things she had to deal with. Even though I know that's a fictitious character, I'm just saying, even queens and princesses in real life have consequences. They have to put up with other things that regular people don't encounter. Things that regular people don't have to deal with, they deal with. And it's not always easy for them. But yeah, man, I just wanted to make this video about that, man. But yeah, two main things that are keeping black women by themselves is a shitty attitude and choosing the wrong man. And choosing the wrong man, it's a lot easier to come back from that versus having a shitty attitude at the same time. That will always keep you in a bad position. But again, this is your boy, the author, signing out. Be sure to like, subscribe. Hello to all my female subscribers. Everyone stay safe out there. All right.